Hare Before we get started, I just want to say I am very thankful to Shri Gurudev, to Shri Prabhupada Guru Baba, that the Gujis in this community. I think this kind of proper broad kirtan under guidance of Sri Gurudev, very, very inspiring.
Very beautiful. Speaking?
Namo Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Prastaya Bhutale, Srimati Bhakti Vedanta, Swami Nityananda. Namaste Saraswati Devi, Gauravani Pachayini, Neva Shesha Shunyavara, Paschatya Deshataya. I offer my most humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of my spiritual master, my Shiksha and Diksha Guru. Nitya Lila Pravishta Om Vishnu Para Satara Sata Sri Srimad Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. He came to the Western world to destroy the nirvishesheva, the impersonalistic and voidistic conceptions of spiritual life, and establish Gauravani, the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the six Goswamis headed by Srila Rupa Goswami, Rupa and Srila Bhaktivinoda Dhara in the Western world.
Chitananda had an appointment. People come and speak right now.
What?
Chitananda has an appointment right now.
Oh, then he
Possibly
should
he can come
speak.
and speak now.
Let him speak. I thought he spoke already.
No, we just started.
No, then he should speak. He's my senior godbrother. He should speak first.
Did he just leave?
He just was on it. I think he catch it. He doesn't speak English.
Where is a seat for him?
Speak right there.
Bring the microphone there.
There's a second way.
There's a microphone right here.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Good.
second. He's got it already, Michelle.
Where is he?
He was in the living room.
Chitananda, please come and speak about Prabhupada.
Yeah, go ahead, Mars.
We won't come.
Yeah, I guess he was up against the clock.
He's not coming?
He was just up against the clock.
Why?
Because he's been asked to come at 11 and speak then, and he's frustrated with the time. He's not feeling like he wants to.
Did he use it? Good.
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada,
Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada,
Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada.
Before Maharaj comes back there. Oh, Maharaj is coming back now. That's right. But then that would better be said. Huh? Maharaj, you can better get started because you'll probably He'll come in the evening. Okay. Okay, all
Swayam Rupam Karanaya Didanti Swapananti Tam. So go from my sisters at the feet. Shiksha and Diksha Guru. Nitya Krishna Vishnu Pada Asatara Sata Sima. Bhakti Swami Prabhupada.
Angle it down. Bring the mic up and then.
Oh, okay. Then I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of my Shiksha and Sannyas Guru, Nitya Prabhupada, Om Vishnu Pada Satara Sata Sima Shura Bhakti Vedanta Narayan Goswami Maharaj. I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of my Shiksha Gurus, Shri Govinda Goswami Maharaj and Shri Bhakti Vigyan Bharti Goswami Maharaj. I offer my humble obeisances unto the lotus feet of the Shri Rupa Nuga Guru Varga, Shri Bhakti Vigyan Keshav Goswami Maharaj, Shri Bhakti Daitya Madhav Goswami Maharaj, Shri Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Maharaj, Shri Bhakti Rakshak Shira Goswami Maharaj, Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada, Shri Gaurati Shodas Prabhupada, and Shri Bhakti Vinod. And I offer my humble obeisances unto all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who are present here today to celebrate the appearance of my Gurudev, my Guru Maharaj, Shri Prabhupada. Please accept my Dandavat Pranam. Can you fix the garland, Prabhupada's garland there? So, today is the appearance day of Nitya Lila Pravish Om Vishnu Pad Asatara Sata Sima Shra A.C. Bhakti Vinod Prabhupada. A couple of weeks ago when Siddhanti Maharaj was here, it was, I think, Guru Purnima. I spoke many glories about my Guru Maharaj, my Srila Prabhupada. How he was the person who was identified by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Prabhupada as the one to bring the mission of Mahaprabhu to the Western world. He made so many sacrifices. But he always felt that his Guru Maharaj and the Guru Varga were with him. There is a story about when he was in Radha Damodar temple, and he used to look out every day at Rupa Goswami's samadhi. There was one Babaji who lived next door, Dayananda Babaji. So he tells a story that at night he was hearing this crying, "Give me your mercy, give me your mercy, Kripa Karo." So he was wondering, what is this crying in the night? Who's crying? Give me your mercy. Is somebody in trouble? He woke up in the middle of the night, like 2 o'clock in the morning, and he put on his gamsha and he walked to the rooftop, and he was looking over the rooftop. And as he was coming to the roof, he kept hearing the voice louder and louder and louder. When he got to the rooftop, he looked over the rooftop into the courtyard of Rupa Goswami's samadhi and Bhajan Kutir. And there he saw my Srila Prabhupada with one of those Indian brooms sweeping. Crying out, "Rupa Goswami Kripa Karo, Rupa Goswami Kripa Karo, Rupa Goswami." Dayananda Goswami told, I never saw anyone do bhajan with such depth of sincerity. This other devotee who used to serve Prabhupada there is a young man whose name was Ghosh. He told that one morning he came to see Prabhupada with some fruits. He would bring fruit to Prabhupada and Prabhupada would offer it. But when he came, Prabhupada was sitting on his bed weeping. So he asked him why he was weeping. He told, this morning when I was doing my bhajan, so when he was sleeping, at that time, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, and Jiva Goswami came to see me. And they gave me instructions how to write these books. This was Prabhupada's mission. The books. Not the letters, not even the lecture. None of these things, conversations, lectures, anything has the value or the weight of the books. Once in Mayapur, he told us, he told me to please come here. And I told him I didn't want to come. He said, but you please, you come. You go there. Young man, you have to behave a little bit, huh? He told me, you go there. And Prabhupada said, I told him I don't want to go to that dirty place. And then he said, but he told me, no, if you go there, I'll give you big palaces to live in. And then Prabhupada said, but I don't want to go. Then he said, I need you to write these books. I need you to write these books. He came here for that purpose. This is why he established the BBT separate from ISKCON. That if the ISKCON society should collapse, books would still be here. This was the main mission, the books. So once, when I was with him in his room, he was chastising me because he asked me some questions about Gita and I didn't know the verses. He said, "You're not reading my books. If you're reading my books, then you know these verses." So he said, "Why?" He said, "You know, every day I read my own books." So I was a little amazed by that. And he said, "Do you know why I read my books?" By this point I was dumbfounded. There was nothing I could say. I just sort of shook my head no and said, "Because I don't write my books." And then he stopped looking at me. He looked into the, ahead, into space. And he put his hand up. He said, "Every morning, when I sit down to write these books, Krishna personally comes and he dictates every word. Therefore, when I read the books, even I learn something new." He placed so much emphasis on this. And I was, to be honest with you, practically trembling because I could feel the presence of Krishna in the room. I couldn't see Krishna, but the way he was speaking, I could sense that presence, that manifestation of Krishna that he was eternally associated with, the Chandanandan Sham. So this was his mission. And he told also that I have spoken these books, because he used to speak into the dictaphone machine. I have spoken these books. He said, therefore, it is like hearing. So many of my God brothers, they emphasize this point about the books. But here we see the backstory. Prabhupada received instructions from the 6 Goswamis to how to write them. He was sent here by Krishna to write them. On another occasion, when he was doing his bhajan, he was by the Pushpa Samadhi of Srila Saraswati Thakur. Prabhupada and his Guru Maharaj came out and told him, when are you going? I have prepared everything in the West for you. When are you going? So he was the person authorized to come here and to make these books. And sometimes my God brothers, they talk about this and they emphasize it, but they don't understand. Whenever a letter or a conversation agrees with the teachings of the books, of the Shastras, of the Sadhus and the fasts, then it can be used as evidence. In Bhakti Sandarbha, Srila Jiva Goswami makes a point about the importance of reading Shastra, that hearing the Shastra from the sadhu is very important. But if the sadhu is not present, you can read the Shastra. He said, but hearing the Shastra from the sadhu is better. In a letter to Punjabi Premananda, Prabhupada says the exact same thing. He says, reading the Gita or hearing the Gita is the same. He said, but hearing is better, more effective. Srila Prabhupada always agreed with the sadhu. Last night I spoke something. Why it is more effective? Because it is carrying the moods of the inhabitants of God. This is not accessible simply by reading, but by hearing, so much potency can be invested in our hearts and our consciousness that when we read, we can go deeper into the scripture. Therefore, Srila Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj also wrote one article, Shastriya Sadhu Sangha, associating with the sadhus through Shastra. When Srila Gauravinda Maharaj was asked, Prabhupada said everything is in his books. He said, yes, all sadhus say this. Everything is in the books. He said, but how will you understand the finer details of the books without hearing from the living sadhu? It is very important to understand this point. And Srila Prabhupada emphasizes this throughout his books. His books lead us to the sadhu. His books direct us to hear from the sadhu. His books make this emphasis. So Srila Prabhupada was ordered by Krishna to come in and write these books. Srila Prabhupada received instructions from the 6 Goswamis and his Guru Maharaj about writing these books. He did everything in the Guru Varga, in the Parampara. He followed very clearly. Saraswati Thakur himself noted, this boy likes to hear. This boy likes to hear. Sri Maharaj told a great story one time. That they were on Parikram in Vrindavan, and they announced in the morning that Srila Prabhupada Bhaktisiddhanta was not going to go on Parikram, but later in the morning he would be giving some lecture. So those who wanted to go on Parikram can go, and those who wanted to stay back and hear the lecture can hear. So Srila Maharaj told that he says, I went up to Abhaya and I asked him, so are you going to go? Because they were close friends. He said, are you going to go on Parikram or you stay here to hear Prabhupada? He said, I will stay here to listen to Prabhupada. He said, what is the use of going on Parikram without Prabhupada? It is only eye exercise. So we hear from these great sadhus the importance, and Srila Bharti Maharaj told us also, you can't go on Parikram without sadhu. Sadhu has to be present to give you the insight into what you are watching and to what you're experiencing. So this is very important. So, Srila Prabhupada definitely emphasized the principle of hearing, both in his books and in his own living example. I was given an opportunity to serve my spiritual master very intimately sometimes. After this pastime where he told me about how Krishna told him that Krishna comes to speak to him, to write the books. About a year later or 2 years later, we were in Srila Prabhupada's room in Delhi. And Srila Prabhupada was asking us questions and he wanted answers. And this time, I was quoting verses from the Gita in Sanskrit, reading, then explaining them in English, and then explaining their meaning in my own words. Because in Africa, he told me, I asked him in Africa, how should we preach in Africa? Because I lived in America, I had no idea. I thought maybe Africa is different, we preach differently in Africa. I didn't know. So he said, the way to preach in Africa and everywhere is the same. You read something from my books, and you explain in your own words according to your realization. My godbrother Madhavananda said the same thing, that one time this devotee, Prabhupada asked him to speak, and he was only quoting exactly what Prabhupada said. Prabhupada said, I don't want to hear your memory. I want to hear you explain in your own words what you've realized. Some people think that it's better only to quote by memory the exact statements of the sadhu, but that's not correct. Prabhupada wanted us to speak in our own words according to our realization. This is Prabhupada. If you make some mistake, you can be corrected by the guru or senior devotees. But this is what Prabhupada wanted. So there I was in his room, several of my godbrothers, and I was quoting, this is in the conversation, there's one, and explaining word for word the Sanskrit and the meaning and the whole thing, and he started smiling and he said, very good, very good. Because he wanted this from me. He wanted this from all of us. He one time said, I want you to know the scripture the way the lawyers know the law books, quoting chapter and verse from one place and another in order to give the evidence that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is what he wanted. In that same conversation, he told Marx had his Lenin. I want 500 Lenins. He wanted us to take this responsibility, to preach the message, to preach the mission, make disciples, and to proliferate Krishna consciousness all over the world. He wanted it. But he said, you have to follow. You have to follow the 4 regular principles. You have to chant your rounds. You have to be correct in your bhakti. Not that simply you perform the ceremonies out of ritual. But you have to be in the right state of consciousness. Transfer that to others. So, Srila Prabhupada, he had a vision, he had a mission to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world, to every town and village, as was ordered of him to do by his Guru Maharaj. And he took it very seriously. Very seriously. So, sometime I got chance to do some intimate service for Srila Prabhupada. I remember once I made some things today for Prabhupada that he liked, because I watched Pishma make it. Prabhupada came back from a tour in the West, and he was in Calcutta. So he called me to his room and he said, get my sister Pishma over here. He said, you Western boys and girls are feeding me all this cheese. You're killing me. He was not a fan. So then I went to Shumana. Shumana was Prabhupada's niece. So I told her, I said, Shumana, you have to call Pishima. Prabhupada wants Pishima to come. She said, okay. So she called Pishima. And Pishima comes. And I was there, standing at the door of the room. And Pishima comes, she's sitting on the floor in front of Prabhupada. And the two of them are talking in Bengali. You can just understand, I didn't know very much Bengali, but I can just understand. This is a brother and sister having, a chat. They were laughing and joking. And then he tells her, Chalo, go now. Go cook for me. So she goes into the kitchen and she's frying vegetables, eggplants, and portola. You know what portola is? It's a kind of, it looks like a cucumber. It's got big seeds inside. It's called portola. And biryani. Karela. So she cuts it all into small pieces and she's frying it in mustard oil. And I'm thinking to myself, what is he doing? What he wanted to do. It's his body. It's his body. One time, he said, sometimes the worst so he and so he used to do all these things. So she cooked for him, he loved it, and she made him a big pot of basmati rice. Prabhupada liked this nice, plain basmati rice. He put it on the plate, and he poured ghee over it. And he would push it around with his fingers to make the ghee enter into the grains. I made a teacher about it, and he said, oh, your Swamiji was very knowledgeable. He knows that the digestion begins in the fingers. Texture. And now you lives by this. Even if he was eating something with a spoon, first he would touch it with his fingers. Principle. So, you're eating. Oh, this is very good, he said. He said, if one can eat raw fruits and vegetables, then this is the best diet for human beings. He said, it is not easy to do it, but if you can do it, very good diet. Best diet. But he approved of it. Eating raw fruits and vegetables. So, also with me, that I was fat. One time, we were at Mr. Shetty's house, there was a big luncheon, and they were serving, and sitting in front of Prabhupada was me, Brahmananda, and the Chutananda. We were all very hefty at the time. Because first they brought bring more for the fat ones. He used to call us his we preached in Africa, me and Brahmananda, we traveled. What we did, we went, the Indian population, made up a stamp, and we'd stamp the books. This book is donated by Srimati so-and-so. And then we had cases of these books, and we'd go pay for it. I'm sure if you go to these villages, so we sent Prabhupada this picture. All the is all these little African children, and the whole picture is full like this. And in the middle are these two enormous men. And we sent this picture to Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, every time I see the picture of my two so happy. So happy. And we explained to him what we were doing. This is a very difficult task you were doing, because you were planting seeds all over the continent of Africa. He said, but you will not see these seeds fructify in your lifetime. When we read that, Brahmananda and I just sat. We were with him once in his room, and he said to us, why are you preaching to the Indians? They are not the indigenous population. But I want you to preach to the Africans. So he said, but Srila Prabhupada, some of I don't care. And give them bhakti. I want you to give it to them. They should get it. He was very adamant about it. And when we were in this one years ago, when the Indian population was very big, that had become populated by mostly African people. So we were, the bars, you could look in, and there was hundreds and hundreds of these African rules. The Hindu temple only you had to be Hindu to go. So Prabhupada called the president up. Rush! Hundreds African kids came in. And we were on the stage. And we're doing, Prabhupada led this kirtan, and Brahmananda was jumping up and down. So, some very amazing and beautiful experiences I had with Srila Prabhupada now. Today I made halava for Srila Prabhupada. So this day is coming next week. I want to hold a big festival here for all the life members. They should come. To bring the life members and we're going to arrange the feast. Okay. So I went to Brahmananda. I said, Prabhupada wants to have a big feast for Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur's appearance day. So we had a life membership board meeting. It was like 8 of these life members. And then they would make all the arrangements. So So we said, we have to make puris and we have to make samosas or something. I arrange. Don't worry. I bring ladies. So many ladies will come. They will cook. Circus, all clowns come out of the car. There's 100 widows in the car. These old Gujarati women, in white. They all came rolling out of the car and they went into and they started making dough and they're cooking and all morning they cooked. So then there was one Punjabi lady, she was there with her husband at the membership meeting. She said, I'll make it. So then they decided we're going to hire So I told him, I'll make the halwa. He said, okay, you make The next morning, Prabhupada says, so this Indian Brahmin is going to come and make these things. How to make halwa? I said, yes, Srila Prabhupada. I've made it many times before. So then he stands up. He was sitting on his asana. He stands up with his beads. He said, so, Prabhupada only came up to my shoulder. He's got so much Shakti, Forth with the beads, And I remember, he taught me how to, instead of saying 1 cup, 2 could be saying 1. The ingredients, you have to have 1 part ghee, 1 part suji, 1 part sugar, and 2 parts water. So yes, and after I finished you boil it, you can put some raisins in the water, and he stops, and he looks up at me like this, he said, and how do you know it's done? So I said, Prabhupada had this oceanic smile, the smile was so huge. And his eyes were so wide. He said, yeah. Golden brown. Continue. So I said, well, so he looked at me and he said, very good. And then he pointed at me, with the bead bag in his hand, and he pointed at me. You today I made holidays. I made a lot of holidays. And no one will be without holidays. You can have as much as you want. Big part. Well, like this, I had some intimate times with him. Many. When we were because I was afraid, Prabhupada would get sick a lot, I was worried he's going to leave. So I used to pray. I don't know who amongst your disciples is a pure devotee. Whoever he is, will you please arrange for me to pray. For lived in a hut. He lived in the mud hut with the straw roof and used the shower outside and the toilet outside. I said, why are you living here like this? I said, no. This is the land that Krishna has. I will live here. One of these guys, he owned one of these factories that makes the metal trunks, the metal trunks, it's a big factory. He had a lot of money. Because I could put him in a palace. I have a big palace. I have servants. I have everything. I could wait on him hand and foot. But he wants to stay here and he has no attraction. And he said, he has palaces all over the world he can live in. And he's living here in this hut. He said, this means he has no attachments. So exemplary. So he said, the leader there. He said, you can drink. Get the water. He said, you can drink that water. It will make you feel. Cool in the open air. And I was very Nazi. I was going to have to perform to live there, basically. How can I convince him? He said, "You stay here, you'll change her out." To convince him, I said, "Well, Prabhupada, Yasya Prasad."
Meeting, very private meeting that Srila Prabhupada had with Gaur Govinda Maharaj for several days.
When we were there, so do you want to take sannyas? I can wait something. So Prabhupada, he was very, he said, "Oh, this is very good," he said. "Very good." He said, "You don't have to take sannyas now if you don't want. You can take it later. You can take it when you're 50 if you want." He said, "But I can understand now that you realize how serious it is to take sannyas." He said, "Therefore, when you feel ready, then you can take it. You decide." And he left it up to me, which was a very beautiful validation of my understanding of Krishna consciousness. It was during that period that Gaur Govinda Maharaj, those days, 17 days he was there, during that period, Gaur Govinda Maharaj would come into the room and he would meet with Srila Prabhupada. And when he came out of the room, I was happened to be standing near Prabhupada's door when Prabhupada would make everybody else leave the room. So it was just him and Gaur Govinda Maharaj. And Gaur Govinda came out and he was like, it was like the sun coming out of the room. I mean, he was so effulgent. I realized something special was going on. Later on, when I was living there with him, I realized two things. One, Srila Prabhupada had fulfilled my prayer. He left me with a pure devotee. And two, that those experiencing what I saw going on was Prabhupada's transmitting Krishna into his heart, giving Gaur Govinda Maharaj Ekadas Bhav and giving him the vision of his spiritual form in Prabhupada's. So this was what happened during that period. And then there was one other pastime, very sweet pastime I want to tell. We went to Puri. Prabhupada was invited there to Puri. Many things happened there in Puri, but a couple of quick pastimes. One was that Prabhupada, he was there, these women were cooking for him in Bhubaneswar. His disciples, Shruti Rupa and Arundhati and Palika. And they were cooking for Prabhupada, and they were following every instruction that the doctor gave. No ghee, no this, no that. Prabhupada said to me one day in Bhubaneswar, he said, "They're starving me." He said, if they want me to fast, I can fast. But if I eat, I want ghee. So then Satyarupa came and he said, "Prabhupada, the disciples who are cooking for you want to talk to you." He said, "Okay, bring them in." So Satyarupa put down the room. Prabhupada said, "It's the starvation committee." So when we were in Puri, I arranged for him with one of the government officers to get this government bungalow right on the ocean. It was on the second floor, right on the ocean. Big veranda. Prabhupada had the corner room, he had a cross breeze. It was beautiful. So he was sitting on the porch, looking out at the ocean, and I was sitting there with him. And he was just, he was saying, just look how simple their life is. They catch the fish, and they sell some, they eat some, and they worship Lord Jagannath. I had no problem with it. so then he was what did that smell? Prabhupada had this extraordinary sense of smell. He could smell things from a mile away. What's that smell? So I looked over the wall from the veranda, the balcony, and I looked. Gargamuni had to have very good food wherever he went. So he had 6 vans, and one of his vans was a kitchen van. And he hired a Mawari Brahmin cook to cook for him. So this guy is cooking all this nice prasadam in the van, and the smell's coming up, and Prabhupada can smell it. So I look down and I see what's going on. I said, Prabhupada, Shantilal. Prabhupada had eaten Shantilal's cooking, and I said, Shantilal was cooking in the van downstairs. Oh, he got very excited. What is he cooking? So I said, Gargamuni, Prabhupada wants to know what Shantilal was cooking. So then they told the menu, I forget, the sabji and the rice and this and this. So then I told Prabhupada, and Prabhupada said, I want some. I said, okay, Prabhupada. So I said, sure, Prabhupada wants a plate. So they said, okay, we're going to make a plate for Prabhupada. So they made this ginormous plate because Prabhupada was eating like very little, in Bhubaneswar. So they thought he'll eat a little bit and we'll have remnants. They made this big plate. So they said, okay, Bhagavad, come down and get the plate. So I said, okay. Come down. I get the plate. Huge. I'm walking up the stairs with the plate. I hear the Prabhupada. He's eating. Oh, this is the best prasadam in the whole world. I want Shantilal to go everywhere to all of our temples and teach everyone how to cook this prasadam. If the meat eaters eat this prasadam, they'll stop eating meat. We have to cook this prasadam. We have to do this. And he's on and on and on, and he's eating and eating and eating and eating and eating. And he's taking his finger and he's licking the stuff on the plate. There's nothing left. Not even a morsel. He eats the whole plate. It was enormous. I mean, I would have had a hard time putting that one away. He just ate the whole thing. So then he gave me the plate. He said, now we're going to take rest. So I bring the plate down. He said, where's the remnants? I said, he ate it all. No, he didn't eat it all. You ate it. I said, no, I'm telling you, he ate everything. He licked it off the bottom of the plate. And Rahul said, yeah. He said, they're starving. He's hungry. That was a beautiful pastime. And then when he woke up, a few hours later, he came downstairs and he took baths in the ocean. And we were all pouring the water from the ocean on Prabhupada's head, and we were bathing him and chanting the Brahma Samhita prayer. So, we had some very intimate and sweet pastimes with Srila Prabhupada. So now what's going to happen now in Dupati? What are we doing now?
Other devotees can speak, and then
these are Srila Prabhupada's shoes. This is the shirt that he wore just a couple of days before he left. And this is the sheet that was on top of his body the night he disappeared from this world. And so you're free to come up and touch them to your head and get benediction. If anybody, Gautam is Prabhupada's disciple, you're Prabhupada's disciple. Huh? Lokaguru, Gurutama, who else? Sita and Govinda, right? We're all Prabhupada's disciples. So who's senior can speak now? And while he's speaking, the people can come and take darshan of the character.
Thank you very much.
Vanchikapaturubhascha krita sindhu bhayevacha patitam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. I want to offer my unlimited Dhamma pranams to my Diksha Guru, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, and also unlimited Dandavat pranams to my Shiksha Guru, Srila Gurudev, Bhakti Vedanta Narayana Maharaj. Well, to follow all of that, I don't have much of an impressive resume. I think it was my lack of adhikar that I did not get as much association with Srila Prabhupada as Swamiji here. So, one thing I have noted that he said that the important thing to remember is that after reading Srila Prabhupada's books and after so many years of engaging in devotional service, we should have some realizations. So, I'm going to speak only on my realizations because I am not a scholar, pundit, or anything of that nature. But I do have some realizations, and the biggest realization that I got is that when I was young, looking for a guru was, everybody was, I think, looking for a guru. The Beatles had seen the gurus in India, and so the mood at that time was we'd given up kind of material life, we became hippies and surfers and people who didn't want to engage in material life. So when I saw Prabhupada, when I heard about him, I should say, I didn't see him yet, and I actually understood that this is a real guru. And the reason I knew this is because in the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita, there's the description of the disciplic succession. And it's from, Krishna, Lord Brahma, Vyas, and Rupa, Sanatan, all the 6 Goswamis, Bhakti Siddhanta, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and then there was Prabhupada's name. I said, wow. And he's alive. It's not like, he was past. So I said, now I realize this is a real guru. So, and over time, also, by reading, you can understand what are the symptoms, what are the qualities, what are the activities of a pure Vaishnava. And of course, Prabhupada fulfilled all those requirements. And so my realization for many people who have never met, of course you've never met Prabhupada, and many people maybe even have never met Srila Gurudev. But if you're looking for a pure devotee, you must read the qualities of a pure devotee and absorb that and meditate on it very deeply. And when you go to look for a guru, you should only look for that particular guru. It's a uttam. Very important, because nowadays, many gurus, you have Kanishta gurus, you have Madhyam gurus, but they can only help you so far. And if you want to know the absolute truth, you want it revealed to you, you must go to an uttam adhikari. So that is my realization. One of many, but that's the most important. So that's what I have to share. Hare Krishna.
Om Krishna Padaya, Krishna Prasthaya, Gurgulaya, Srimad Bhaktivedanta Swami, Namaste, Saraswati Devi, Gauravana Pacharya, Vishesha Srimati, Mr. Finish, all glories to my Guru, Srila Prabhupada, glories to my Shiksha Gurus, especially to Bhaktivedanta Narayan Maharaj. Glories to all the assembled devotees. I never really had so much association with Srila Prabhupada, hardly at all, other than going to hear him before I was a devotee. We traveled to Atlanta to hear Srila Prabhupada when he came. And then we were fortunate enough to have Srila Prabhupada come to Washington. And in those days, I went to Atlanta with some of my friends before we were actually committed to living in the temple, becoming a full-time devotee. And we heard that Prabhupada just arrived. We met him at the airport. We came and were serving, living, amongst the devotees while Prabhupada was there. And Prabhupada was going the next morning on a morning walk. We thought, great, we'll go too. So we went to this park in Atlanta, and we got there, and the devotee said, "You're not allowed to be here." Well, we were there, so we walked on the morning walk with him. It was March of 1975, first weekend. And I can't remember much from that, other than, Srila Prabhupada. It's sort of a famous trip. Prabhupada, when he greeted the deities and the devotees in the temple in Atlanta, he started glorifying Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda were on the altar, and he started crying and crying. And he hadn't really done very much of that publicly, especially in front of so many devotees. And we were all amazed, and the whole thing got cut short. And Srila Prabhupada, he taught the devotees to sing one particular song. I can't remember it right now. It had never been sung before. It had a different beat. Instead of it was Karma Karuna. And no one knew how to do it, so nobody could get it right. So they passed out the words. He said, "Learn it by tonight." So we all practiced it, and some were very expert, and they learned it immediately. And the new people like myself, we could barely figure it out. The beat, but we didn't have to, because we just sing along with the devotees. So. One thing that impressed me with Srila Prabhupada, I listened to this lecture he gave in Los Angeles in 1969. It was the appearance of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. And, a lot of devotees, a lot of disciples of Srila Prabhupada never really had personal instructions from him. So I listened to this tape, and I was listening to it. Prabhupada, it was very heavy. Prabhupada was saying, "I am an old man. I can leave at any time. You are all young." He said, "Whatever you have learned and realized in Krishna consciousness, go out and give it to others." And so it's always... I try to see that as my instruction from Prabhupada. It's really everyone's instruction from Srila Prabhupada. Of course, Prabhupada didn't leave at that time, so we're very thankful for that. But what we've seen in our lives, the transformation of the society, when I moved to Detroit in 1994, end of 94, early 95, and Lita and I got married there. At that time, there was hardly one vegetarian restaurant. I don't think there was one. And there was one health food store that sold probably 98% vegetarian. So vegetarian has manifested all over the world, primarily due to Srila Prabhupada coming to the West. interest in spiritual life. There are so many spiritualists coming from India and other places. And they had their little tiny groups of followers here and there. And when Prabhupada came, mainstream. Now it's mainstream. Spiritual life is mainstream. Bhakti. I bought a bottle. It said Bhakti. They're bottling Bhakti.
Bhakti chai.
Not chai, something else. It wasn't pure, so it went out of business.
And it would have been, if it was pure, it would be pure bhakti.
It would have been. Well, thank God, pure Bhakti manifested. And so those things have all manifested. We started chaplaincy at the University of Maryland. My friend and I, somehow or another, we got it going. And Prabhupada wrote us a letter, and he said, "I am also a chaplain." Not to think that we did something that he couldn't do or did. So, but we were thinking one day, what will be the next big thing? And this was in 1976, 77. What it is, what can we be right on the forefront of that will assist our preaching here at the university? And we thought animal rights, vegetarianism. So we went around, we took a day and went to some slaughterhouses. We put wigs on our Sankirtans. And horrible thing. Yeah, no one should ever have to see these things. And we realized, we went, well, I'll just be very brief. The point I'm trying to make is that the vegetarian movement becoming prominent in our society is due to Srila Prabhupada. It's not due to anything else. From that, the vegan movement, Pita manifested. A devotee here in Alachua, Sudharma Dasi. She knew the person and rented a room in his house who started it. All these things are connected to Srila Prabhupada. You shouldn't think that they aren't. Srila Prabhupada made a statement once, and I can't quote from it, I don't remember where it was, but he said, my guru ordered me to come to the West and give Krishna consciousness to the English-speaking countries. And I have done that. And then he said, but I have done more than that. I have gone to Africa, I have gone to South America, Australia, all these places, and I have spread Krishna consciousness there also. And we're in an insulated area here, Alachua, Florida. You know, if you're from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, when you come to Florida, you go on I-95 and settle in Fort Lauderdale. If you're from the Midwest, you know, we lived in Detroit. We made a couple of turns, got on I-90, drove down the road, got on I-75, drove 900 miles in Florida. We settle in the Gulf. So here, in the middle, is the swamp. All the Gator fans know it's the swamp. But so we're here. It's a small town, so many devotees. We think everything is glory. Everything is going on here that's going on everywhere else. There's birth, there's old age, there's disease, there's the death. Everything is going on here like that. Our business is like what Srila Prabhupada took to be his business. Our business is to give Krishna out to everyone we meet. Some of us may not. Bhaktivedanta Keshava Maharaj in the late 50s and 60s would do Pandal programs regularly, 18 to 25,000 people a night at the Pandal programs. We're not like that so much. But we have a circle of friends, we shop, everyone we speak to, everyone we see, we should try to remember that it's our mission to give out Krishna. Even if you can just get them to say, have a nice day. Wishing the Vaishnava well is wonderful preaching, a great benediction for them. You can bring a book. Now they have the small pocket Bhagavad Gitas. Buy them for $1.10. Give them out. Maybe they give some donation. You even make some money on it to buy some more. We can do anything like that. There's Harinams. I'm a great example. I never go. One of my friends, though, is shaming me. He started his own Harinam program in addition to working 5-6 days a week. He has 2 nights of Harinam in the Washington, D.C. area. And we can do that. Everyone can do these things. And this is all Srila Prabhupada's legacy and his mission. And we can be a part of that mission. I was so fortunate one day. Srila Gurudev was coming to stay at Jalakar's for a week or so. This was, I don't remember what year it was, 2003, 2004, something like that. And Jalakar asked me to come and I would bring back all the luggage. So we went there, I parked right out in front illegally, and Jalakar parked a mile away in some parking garage. And somehow or another, Jalakar couldn't make it back. And I've been praying in my heart, I wish I'd be able to have some association with Srila Gurudev. And so he said, we want to go now. I said, my car's here. He said, great, we'll go. We loaded up the luggage and I drove Srila Gurudev back to here. It was the first time I had any significant time with him. And so I asked some different questions. And he told me how Srila Prabhupada would, in the Mathura temple, after the evening arti, they would sit around and they would have bhajans. And he said that Srila Prabhupada would never play the harmonium. Or no, wait a minute. He did play the harmonium. He would never sing. I said, why wouldn't he sing? And Srila Gurudev said he couldn't sing. He was constantly crying. And at that time, Gurudev said that his favorite song was Gora Paho. It's in our songbook. Yeah. And you can, if you have some old CDs of Srila Prabhupada, you can hear him sing, and it's Srila Gurudev described it as pitiful. He was so racked with emotion when he would sing. So, also, I want to read one other thing. This is something that Gaur Govinda Maharaj spoke in a lecture in Bhubaneswar in 1992. And I only wish that maybe one day I could feel like this. But it's how we should try to understand who our own guru is, and this is how we should approach him. So Gaur Govinda Maharaj said, with just one speck of dust from the lotus feet of my guru, crores and crores of people can be delivered. There is no such scholar as my guru. I will never accept anyone else as a scholar. There are no teachings like those that my guru has imparted that can be found in any human being or demigod. As a tiny speck of dust from his lotus feet. So we should see our if we should see our guru like this. I should be able to see Srila Prabhupada like this. Maybe someday in the future, if I'm fortunate, I can see like this. And I want to say one more thing about the tiny speck of dust from the lotus feet. There's this one devotee who was in LA, and this was probably in the early 70s, and he had read that if you can catch even a speck of dust from the lotus feet of a pure devotee and put it on your head, you're guaranteed all success. So Prabhupada was walking, it was in some, I don't know, it was a grassy area, so he was following Prabhupada. He was trying to see, he couldn't see any dust, and finally he got down on the ground to watch, and he looked at Prabhupada's feet, and they were 3 inches above the ground. And Prabhupada was not leaving any dust. So, meanwhile, 1976, Srila Prabhupada comes to Washington. I couldn't go on any morning walks because I had to. The morning walk was just before the greeting of the deities, and I was supposed to organize it. So, because of that, I was still very fortunate because Srila Prabhupada would stop and pay his obeisances first before Gauramatai, then before Radha Madan Mohan, and then on the other altar, or Nishinadev. And then we would, someone would pour some Charnamrita in Prabhupada's hand, another devotee would pour some water to wipe his hand, and then I would give him the towel to wipe Prabhupada's hand, and Prabhupada would give it back to me, and he always touched my hand every time. And when he would do his obeisances, I had to stand next to the temple president, and he would put his head right in the bottom of Prabhupada's lotus feet. And I felt so bad, I thought, I could never take this liberty, because we knew that Prabhupada wasn't really doing this so much. So later, Srila Gurudev comes to stay in the Latchua, and we're fortunate he comes to stay with us. And every morning, he has Mangal Arati in his room. And so, after the Arati is over, and all the devotees would, all the devotees, the 4 devotees, the men devotees were there, would put their foreheads on Srila Gurudev's lotus feet. He made them do it. And they pointed to me and made me do it too. So I became, my desire to do that with Srila Prabhupada was fulfilled under the principle of Guru is one. And do not think, if you're, just like someone was, our Prabhu here was saying, that if you are looking for a guru, read the 26 qualities of a devotee. You can also, even if you're looking for Shiksha Guru in addition, you can pray to Srila Gurudev, Srila Prabhupada, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, our entire Guru Varga, and you can beg them to send you a guru. You can beg them, and they're so kind and merciful that they will do this. But if you're a little slow like myself, or a little covered, or a lot covered, you can ask them to make it so even you can understand that they've come to help you.
Om Vishnu Vinaya Krishna Krishnaya Murtale Bhakti Vedanta Swami Dinamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Vacharine Nivashesha Sundavari Pastatyadi Satarine. To confirm what you were saying about the health food stores, 1974 I moved to Los Angeles, and there were no health food stores. So we had a big community there in Los Angeles. So there was a store across the street called Balian's. And after the devotees had moved in that community, Balian's was gradually becoming a vegetarian store because we were frequenting it so much. So that go to that point, because it's very difficult to find stuff at that time. So, at the time of Srila Prabhupada's arrival into the West, my life was very morbid, I should say. That would probably be the appropriate expression. A lot of doom and gloom was prevailing in the United States, and the consciousness was just not right. Just put it that way. But I have this vision of Srila Prabhupada, something that I could never shake. And I did not know at the time that it was an appropriate vision. But there just was something about this individual. Upon seeing him, that there was something magical, something musical, just the opposite of the morbid doom and gloom existence that I had been experiencing. And later I see, after association with Srila Gurudev, that my confirmation of what was going on, that what I thought was going on with Srila Prabhupada, was confirmed. Gurudev sings a song, Bhaja Janamana Shukakari Raj. Sharana Napura Rasa Radhe Shama Shama Shama. That's what I was seeing. When I first saw Prabhupada, we're at the first, it was great anticipation. We had no idea what type of anticipation there was to see this individual. People talk about rock stars and this and that, and because I do these concerts and people are all excited to see someone, but the magnitude of excitement that exists to see a transcendental personality, there is no comparison. There is none. So the excitement that had been generated upon Prabhupada's arrival in New York. The devotees had me for 6 months. I had waited 6 months in New York to see before Prabhupada came there in 74. And every day, this anticipation, this excitement was building. That here comes this personality. The life of your life. The love of your life is about to arrive. And every day, this was building. And so there we were at the airport. And Srila Prabhupada comes from, it seemed like came from behind the curtain. That's what it appeared. It was like he came from behind the curtain. And it looked like he was dancing. This Maha Mantra, the beauty of and the eloquence that carries all the essence of Radha Krishna, was moving flowingly towards me. It was amazing. And from that moment, every time I saw Srila Prabhupada, I could never get out of my mind that something is going on. There is some dancing. There is something magical. There's something musical going on with him. I want to see that. So this is my realization. My realization is that there is a world there. The world where it exists, that, as the Bhagavad says, in this atmosphere, every song is a dance. Every song is a musical arrangement. Every step is a dance. This atmosphere is the atmosphere that Srila Prabhupada would carry with him everywhere. We go on the morning walks. and I just couldn't shake it. I just couldn't shake it. I just kept thinking, there he was. He's got to be doing this. And I remember in Los Angeles, Papa would go into his garden, and the boys would be waiting for Papa to go into the garden. And at that time, you had to have a little clout to be able to get into these darshans. So fortunately, I was a book distributor, so I was able to, I had good association, or I would say good connections at the time. So although I was a younger boy at the time, I was still able to get into these things, the darshans. So I remember Papa used to come out to go in the garden. He would come out of the back. His room was in the back, and he would come out, and he had the wall. It was not in the front of the temple. It was actually behind the temple. So we had to walk, and it was a corridor that you could just stand in, and you could wait to see when he was coming before you would go in, and then you rush in. And I remember Papa came, and I'm standing there, and he stops. There it was again. This is the beauty of Srila Prabhupada, is that he's carrying the essence of Srimati Radhika. He's carrying the essence of the whole beauty of the Radha Shakti. And this is why Prabhupada had us meditate on the Guru Vastika in the morning. I always think, why did he only give us this? Why this? Samsara Dhavan Kaloka. What is this samsara? This samsara is that it's not the frightening samsara of material existence. Oh, I better surrender to Sri Guru. I better surrender to God because he'll pick a hammer and hit me over the head if I don't. Right? This is the morbid existence prior to meeting this individual. But no, that samsara means the essence. Some complete sar, rasa. The essence of all rasa is what Sri Guru wanted us to meditate on, because he's saying, I exist in this world, which is full of samsara. And there's so many, I've meditated on this for a while, so there's many things I can go in with it, but this is what Srila Prabhupada wanted us to feel, to experience. And I had a sad feeling one day, because I knew that what was being requested would be, it seemed virtually impossible. As a book distributor, Prabhupada would have these competitions, and whoever would win the competition, they say, well, Prabhupada would give darshan of the temple who would win the marathon. And so we were distributing books like madmen. And just like, left, right, not just, just crazy at the LA temple. But we were at a disadvantage because at Atlanta temple, they had the airport, and at that airport, they had the whole world coming through the airport. And because it was a transit, whatever they call it, hub. So they had the advantage. So they narrowly beat us out. And so Srila Prabhupada went to Atlanta, to our dismay. And so I was there in Los Angeles, and I remember lamenting, wow, we did not get this opportunity. So the devotee, one devotee, his name was Nirantra. You remember Nirantra? He was also a book distributor. And so they're all sitting with Srila Prabhupada in the room, and I'm all envious. They're all sitting with Srila Prabhupada in the room. And this Nirantra says, Srila Prabhupada, what pleases you the most? And then there was a pause. And then Srila Prabhupada said, that you love Krishna. And at that time, I became very despondent. Because now, he had set the bar so high. Right? He had set the bar so high, there was nothing that I could do There was nothing that I could say. The only way that I could please him is that I had to love Krishna. So it was humbling, but it embarked me on a life mission to this day that I have not completed. But the dream is still alive. The dream is still alive. So, Srila Prabhupada, unbelievable personality. I did not have a whole lot of association, although I was able to go on many, many morning walks. But I do know that the Guru knows when you're listening. Because if you want to be intimately associated with Sri Guru, then you have to have the ears. That's why the gopis, they praise the cows. And the ears are perked up, hearing the sound of unity. And that because of the ears are perked up, they overwhelm Krishna. Right? The cows overwhelm Krishna with their emotion because of unity. So I realized that if you just desire to hear from Sri Guru, that somehow or other, you unbeknownst to yourself, they will arrange that you actually hear something. And it's magical. It's actually a magical thing. You think that they are not noticing that your existence may not even be relevant, but they will make that arrangement. Once in the morning walk in Los Angeles, the ladies would all go out with Srila Prabhupada, and the custom was that after walking, we walk on the beach, and we start coming back. I've told the stories before, but we start coming back to the car, and the ladies would like to jump, get in the car, racing back, get back to the temple so they would have to get out of the car at the temple. They could walk in because we were doing the reading of the deeds. But my mood was, I wanted to just get every drop. I wanted to see every dance until it got to the car. That was my mood. And so I would walk, and all of a sudden I'm finding myself, there's nobody else around. Everybody had just the driver of the car, and I was left, I had to open the door for Prabhupada. How that happened? Because there's usually everybody, at a certain point you had all the gurus and the sannyasis and the temple presidents, everybody's like, move over and I got this, and all of a sudden it's like, nobody's there. Right? And so we get near the car, and Prabhupada turns to me, because we had been talking about changing of bodies. How Prabhupada was giving that we're now walking back to this car. Right? And he gave the example that when people go to sleep at night, it's actually a sort of a death. But because the final death is not there, the soul comes back to the car, to the body, and then you go on with your activities. So it's just like this car. We know the car is working, so therefore we're going to walk back. We're going back to the car because we know the car is working, and we're going to get in it and we're going to drive. Right? So you have been talking this theme the whole morning about changing the body. How we want this body, proper handle this. And sometimes people think this is so basic. Oh, this is just ABC stuff. This is all small time stuff. But then we find out, right? We find out by Bhakti Thakur that if we want to actually get to birds, you gotta have an understanding. This is the foundation. So we didn't know at the time that Prabhupada was setting the foundation for Brother Rocks, for this dancing experience we're about to have. It just looked like he was saying, not the start. hurt this body. Right? So anyhow, we get to near the car door, and Papa stops and he looks at me and he's like right in my face, eye to eye, and he says, "Do you understand?" And I just immediately, of course, with no realization, I said, "Yes, Your Papa." And he turns, and I open the door to the car, and he gets in. And then I, like a madman, jump in my car, and I'm going to go back to the temple. But the beauty of Sri Prabhupada is still yet to be experienced. I'm hoping that someday that this sound of this, as they say, the pure devotee, wherever he sees, his eyes are always seeing the beauty of Vaikuntha. His ears are always hearing that musical, wonderful sound of Vaikuntha. He's always hearing it. He doesn't just smell things, he's smelling the aroma of the garlands that are there in the Kuja. He's smelling all these things. So my desire, and we're all basing this on what? Agatana Patiyasi Shakti. We're all basing this on somehow or other. Although it's impossible, not probable for me, impossible, but because you have the Shakti, it can be that thing which is impossible, possible. Therefore, we take shelter of Rupa Goswami. When they're telling us, Bhakti Udayajati Yajati Mahava, Napayamatri Matri. We don't have we don't have anything. Why should we walk around like we have something? But if we had, I have firm faith that you have this Shakti. And that's all Rupa Goswami is saying. I have firm faith that you got this Shakti. And so you can do it. So this is the belief that we need to have. This is the belief that I'm trying to have. That although that dance is going on, although that rasa is shaking left and right, although that musical sound is going on, and although I'm not hearing any of it, Agatana Gatana Patiyasi Shakti, someday I'm going to. Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai.
Sita G.
I want to embarrass everyone.
Go ahead. Weaken it.
Gorman won't say a word in his defense of how much association he's had with Srila Prabhupada. Pictures to prove it.
It's only 1 minute.
1 minute. You're 40, 50-year-old. This is the car that only Govinda could drive because he was the only one who had a driver's license.
And a credit card.
And a credit card. And this is all the decorations, of course, all the devotees did. So,
Who's that picture?
it was, go ahead.
Is that Hawaii or?
Yep.
Oh, I know.
Look at all them lays.
Did he?
So, yeah.
He said he didn't have body card, but he had a credit card.
Nice.
That's all I had.
I think the utilities were in your name. every little they rented little houses until Ambarish donated the Honolulu temple, and that was in something. So, in 73, I don't know what year. This picture, is that the one you have?
With him in it?
Yeah. That's Siddhar Bananda.
Oh, yeah, the glasses.
No, that's Nishchina. The one facing Prabhupada and Prabhupada's talking to him is Siddhar Bananda. Tulsi Gabbard's guru. And he wanted to leave. He was a disciple, sannyas disciple of Prabhupada. And he came with many followers and he wanted to leave. And Prabhupada tried and tried to satisfy him, and finally he left. And all the devotees went to Prabhupada and they said, "What should we do? They're chanting." But they're not with us, they're chanting. And Prabhupada said, "Leave them alone. They're a broken branch of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's tree, and for 400 births they can chant Hare Krishna." So it was what did Prabhupada call it? Disobedience. Good word. And, yeah. So then, the temple was sold by the two senior devotees. Temple of Honolulu was sold by the two senior devotees who had put some money into it. And Govinda was sleeping on park benches. Everyone else had left, except him. And then he met the devotees walking up the road. "Where have you been?" And they met Srila Prabhupada, and did Srila Prabhupada stay in the North Shore or Illakai?
Ilika.
He was at the Illakai, and I don't have that picture with me, but there's a big park there, and Prabhupada would take this morning walk every morning.
Island.
So that picture is Magic Island. And he would walk there every morning, even after he removed the temple. Where was it? Oh, so Srila Prabhupada asked Govinda to bring those disciples who had sold the temple and taken the money. And he found one and brought him, and some money was given back. So that happened. And then the other devotee who had sold that temple, who didn't come back to Srila Prabhupada, later on went to court to request Ambrish Das's Honolulu temple be returned to him, because it's his temple. Govinda had to go to court and testify that no, this person had never been part of the Honolulu temples. It was under ISKCON Srila Prabhupada's. Yeah. What else did you do, Laura?
This is glorifying Prabhupada. Sita.
Okay.
Remember that.
Okay. Good enough.
It's just that way.
In 73, Srila Prabhupada came, in the fall of 73, Srila Prabhupada came to New York City. And the newbies, 17-year-old me, and others, were greeting him in the airport and showering holy water, sprinkling rose petals, and someone carried a big white umbrella over his head. And he had the same expression, the same humility everywhere. Every time you saw him, he was so humble. He was weighed down with his glories. It was amazing. And so one of my first duties was making Brahmastra juice. Devotees had just discovered Brahmastra juice, cayenne, pepper, ginger, honey, all boiled into tea. I made it every morning for breakfast in this huge pot. So when Srila Prabhupada arrived, he said, "Krishna is not a sick boy." No more Brahmastra juice. There's a famous picture where he has his shirt off. That's in New York City kitchen. That's right outside of his apartment he used to clean. And he loved the black and white checks on the floor in the temple room. Oh, and the temple room was packed. You could not even decide if there was an aisle in the middle between the men and the women. It was packed. body to body. You could barely dance. From Malawaiti. Every time he was there. Yeah, everyone was there. All the painters, all the Kirtaniers. The BBT hadn't moved yet to LA. He didn't come to Malawaiti. He went on his morning walk, but I don't remember. Maharaj, do you remember what Papa did for morning walks when he went to walk in New York City, Henry Street time? Did he have morning walks?
I wasn't with him on Henry Street.
Oh,
I
I
wasn't
thought
with
you
him on
were.
Henry Street. Now, I was in Henry Street for a little while, but collecting money to go to Africa, but I never was with Prabhupada in Henry Street. I wasn't, I also was in 61 Second Avenue, but I was never with Prabhupada in 61 Second.
I think they used to disappear. Really, I remember I think they used to disappear. They would go to like a park or something.
Probably,
Because there's nowhere near Henry Street for walking, except down the block.
What about the
There was some little park.
There was a little park.
Prospect Park was there.
He must have gone to no, Prospect Park was far from
From Henry Street, yes, that's right, going down.
No, it was
Something nearby.
The Henry Street was very
Brooklyn
near
Heights.
downtown Brooklyn,
Right.
and there was a few parks in that area, and they must have taken him
Going by car, whenever they were taking
They used to give Tulsi Maharani a bath. They drape a towel around her soil and dump her upside down into a big bucket of water. All the leaves would be floating, so when Prabhupada came, that stopped. Yeah, I don't know where. Another devotee was doing the I Ching, and she was told by Srila Prabhupada, no, that's mental speculation. Don't do that. I Ching, I Ching, I Ching. I Ching. You don't want to
It's like a Chinese numerology.
So my understanding was that things were fluid. We were learning. We're on a learning curve, a really steep learning curve of how to be a real devotee. And then Bali Mardan married his wife, and several women were appointed her servants. And I was the one who found the meat. But it was never told to Srila Prabhupada that it was meat. It was told as eggs. So if you've heard the egg story, that was a cover story to not.
I was in Bombay when Bali came there. And Prabhupada said, I heard there was chicken in the refrigerator. And Prabhupada said, she doesn't see so well. She thought it was a cauliflower. That's what he told Prabhupada. She doesn't see so well. She thought it was a cauliflower.
I beg to differ. I found the meat. And it was butcher paper, paid butcher paper, with the little butcher ties. And she said, somebody gave this to me. It was hidden behind pictures on their altar-ish thingy shelf they had. And she said, take that far away and throw it. And I carried this lump of heavy, mushy thing and dumped it in somebody's trash can. So then everyone got excited, and at the same time that was happening, other things were happening. And Prabhupada said that Maya had entered the movement. So anyway, if you can handle, okay. I was going to say that the kirtans were unbelievable. The devotees used to jump up and touch the ceiling. They were so excited. They would kick out the women and only have men, but that didn't last very long. Then they would all race and chant all around, circumambulating the temple outside. It was really great kirtan times then. And for some reason, I don't know who started it, but right before Prabhupada came back from his morning walk, I'm sorry, I'm in Honolulu now. Everyone would race out, because I was sent to Honolulu because everyone was afraid for their lives. because we had a cube spot right on that. But anyway, everyone, before Prabhupada would come back from his morning walk, would run around and pick all the flowers they could and come into the kitchen and strip off little pieces of tin foil and wrap them like a bouquet. And then when they went to get their cookie, they'd hand Prabhupada these little tin foil wrapped bouquets. I don't know of anywhere else in the world that they did this. And Prabhupada would give out cookies that I made, and the kirtan, and they'd do arti for him, and the kirtan would be so ecstatic that Prabhupada would start throwing cookies. So from the uptight atmosphere of New York City, where you weren't even allowed to approach him and give him a flower, you were chastised, to the laid-back Honolulu, where he was very open and just very there. Although there was a mood about him that you knew he was so serious. This was his mission. He was so dedicated to it. You never bothered him because you knew he was on such an important mission. And you only tried to help. You did everything you could. You made him bead bags. You made him Prabhupada hats. You went out on book distribution. You did everything. Floors. Once we got chastised because we all were eating prasadam, and yes, we did eat on wax paper plates. Wax paper? Not plates, wax paper. Pieces of wax paper on the floor directly. And he had arrived, and I guess we didn't have much notice. We all jumped up from breakfast prasadam and ran out to greet him. So when he did his tour, he saw all these leftover prasadam wax papers in the kitchen, in the prasadam room, and he's, no, don't ever do this again. This was not good. So after that, I decided I'd make sure I go around and make sure everything was cleaned up before he came.
We were trying to save money.
Oh, I didn't mind the wax paper.
I used to stand on one side of the long prasadam, or somebody would be on the other side, and they rolled the wax paper. And then they cut it off at the end. And then everybody would come and tear off little pieces. They would just put a plop of hollow every foot.
Yeah, you had all of them for breakfast. I remember. I should have written this down. Anyway, to be continued. Thank you.
So now we're going to do Pushpanjali and Arti and everything. Let's do Pushpanjali. I'm going to do the Arti. Who's going to sing? Prabhupada in Japan, he insisted. He said that the Vyasa Puja was a failure, and he made them do it again the next day. And he said, "You sing this song on Vyasa Puja with this tune: Samsara Java Nalalida Loka Pranaya Karunya Gana Gana." This is the song and this is the tune.
It's the midday melody.
Huh? Yeah.
He did it in Atlanta exactly the same way.
Anyone who's going to sing now, you have to sing that tune. I'm going to do the art.
Are you going to say something?
Do the art. We have to do the Pushpanjali, right?
Yeah. While it's going on.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Don't we say the prayers, Joe? Do we say that? You have to say the prayers. Namo Vishnu Padaya. Everyone should gather around the Vyasa.
We're over here.
You can't offer tulsi to Prabhupada. Tulsi to Krishna. Then you do Pushpanjali?
No, during sunset.
Oh, yes. Those are the days.
No, we're not doing Sri Guru Charana Patma. My Guru Maharaj ordered that it should be sung. That's what we're singing.
That's what we're saying. Got that into.
So while the kirtan goes on, we just
After March is finished.
yeah.
No. Yeah, he's going to actually record it. Then you can hear it. Repeat it.
Abhi, you want to say?
Specifically wanted a certain.
It's so slow.
Vishnu Daya Krishna Krishna Daya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani
No swallow.
Pushpanjali
Pushpanjali.
Pushpanjali Namah Namaskaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namane Namaste Rishi
Janayatarunya Dhanaganatha Pranavasya Vande Gurashi Sharanara Varikramadhyana Manasorasena Romanchakam Shri Charanaravinda Shri Vigraha Tasya Bhakta Chaturikashi Bhagavat Prasara Vande Vivasi Vande Vivasi Jaya Vivir Apeshaniya Bhagya Vande Guru Samastashastre Yasya Prasad
Open on me.
Nichilina Pravishna Om Shriparashta Tarasatashri Shrimad Rupanuga Charivara Bhakti Vedanta Narangas Manaj Gurudev Ki Jai Nichilina Vishna Om Shriparashta Tarasatashri Shrimad Srila Bhakti Vedanta Vam Bhakti Vigyana Bharati Gosmanaj Ki Jai Param Purva Param Pujapad Srila Bhakti Rakshak Srila Gosmanaj Ki Jai Param Pujapad Srila Bhakti Daita Mala Gosmanaj Ki Jai Param Pujapad Srila Bhakti Jeevan Janara Gosmanaj Ki Jai Param Pujapad Srila Bhakti Goda Vaktas Gosmanaj Ki Jai His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada Ki Vyasa Puja Ki Nitya Vishnu Om Shripada Shritara Satashi Nitya Vishnu Om Shripada Shritara Swaparashad Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai Nitya Vishnu Om Shripada Shritara Satashi Thakur Ki Jai Acharya Srila Baladev Vijayabhushan Prabhu Ki Jai Lakshik Siromani Srila Vishnu Shakavali Thakur Ki Jai Narottam Srinivas Shaman Guru Varaka Ki Jai Srup Damara Roman Dalishi Gaur Parshad Vrinda Ki Jai Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Namacharya Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Ishwara Puripada Madhavenja Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Ki Guruji Janaji Krishna Gopa Gopi Go Govardhan Devi Ki Jai Purnamasi Yoga Maya Devi Ki Jai Gopeshwar Ji Siddhasan Chakra Ki Jai. Chara Samadaya Chara Dam Chara Acharya Ki Jai. Akara Matra Shri Chaitanya Mata Ki Jai. Bolo Kera Premadana Harinama Ki Jai. Vishwavanu Nandini Shrimati Radhika Thakur Ananta Kodi Vaishnava